I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I think you want to. I want to. Hey, everybody. Fox from Fox and Kit Woodworks and Fox Den Videos. I don't know if I had those lyrics right, but I am so excited. The reason why this is like a second Christmas for me, I was actually able, from a lot of these last sales that were going on, to purchase some additional equipment from xTool. We've already done our xTool F2 review and our xTool AP2 review, also with the setup. And after having those and working on those for a little bit, I am really looking forward to adding that as an additional laser in my shop. But to be able to do that, I need a few attachments. And the biggest concern that I had with the F2, because it does only have that smaller workspace, is how am I going to be able to do multiple coasters or cups or whatever at a time? But xTool has an answer for that, and that is with their slide extension table. Also, I want to be able to do cups, but not just one side of a cup or a portion of the cup, because it does have a curve feature on the F2, but the whole rotary. And I found out they have the new RA3 in stock, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and buy that too, because there are rumors online that you can use it in your S1 and older machines. You just have to put it in backwards. So we're going to go ahead and do the official unboxing of the xTool slide extension for the F2 and other smaller F series and the new RA3. Stick around to see more. Okay, here we are. We're going to go ahead and open up the xTool box that they sent me. I don't have any other of it unboxed yet. I know my Viver one I already had partially unboxed, and we just kind of went over in the box, but this is the official unboxing, and I am so excited about this because I have been wanting to get more into the laser engraving side of things, going portable, having the ability to do multiple projects at the same time. One of the issues that I ran into during the Christmas rush is that I was getting some smaller orders when it came to cups and coasters and things like that of, 1 here, 4 here, 8 there. But I was in the process of running, we'll say, a project that was 100 to 200 items. And I'm not going to stop production of that to do the small order. I end up having to really rush through that order or, kind of burn the midnight oil and then get the other one done. And so this, I think will help me allow me to alleviate those pressures that come up when the big machine's being used, but I have smaller orders coming in. So here is the box from xTool. One of the things that I do like about their packaging is they do a relatively good job in the packaging on it. And same thing with this one. They didn't add any extra foam to the main box that's holding everything, as I catch that as it falls out. But as you can see, this box is actually very snug in here, and it wasn't able to move left or right really at all. I don't see any rub marks or anything. And then this one was stuck in next to it. It could shift up and down, but it wasn't getting all jostled around. Now, this is just the exterior shipping box that these came in since I had ordered 2 packages. If I was probably just ordering one of them, it would get shipped in a box more this size, or it would just have the labeling on this. And where xTool really shines is their individual packaging on these items. What should we start with first? Should we start with the RA3 or the slide extension? I think we're going to start with the slide extension because the RA3 is something we really want to check out and see. So let's see if xTool maintains their ability to pack items very well and snug and secure while they're in transit. And if you're wondering why my fingernails are painted, girl dad. I almost made it. I made it 5.5 years before the oldest Kit wanted to actually paint my nails. So right hand's blue, left hand's yellow. All right, and we are still doing the same performance out of xTool when it comes to their packaging. You can see that there is a lot of styrofoam in here, packaged well in here, nice and tight, so nothing can get bounced around, and if it does, it has plenty of protection. Like always, or at least what they've been doing, at least what I've seen recently, is adding that instruction manual right up on top. That way it's easy to find or toss to the side. And here it is. Here is that slide tool extension. Nice and packaged. And what this is going to allow us to do is to get up to, let's see here, -40 to +440, 480 millimeters of additional lateral or left to right space on the F2. So, well, I should say additional space, but total area. And what it does is it slides one way, and you can put items on one side, and then as it works through it, it'll work its way all the way across and down so it gets your item all the way, whether it's a bigger piece of long, thin wood or multiple items in it. The other nice thing that they have on this is they already have the fin set up for cutting. So if you are going to be cutting a longer piece out with this, you are going to be able to absolutely do it because it's got this standoff riser so you don't get as much smoke charring and burning on it. What else comes in the box? Well, we have a foam insert that has lots of different things. So let's just go ahead and see what we got. Like standard, our little Allen wrench. We have, it looks like, some lockers. And these, I'm guessing, are going to be what you're going to use to lock the slide extension down to your F2. So there are 3 of the same size, and then 2 of the same size. We have our cable to hook everything up. And it looks like a vertical guide that's going to slide into this T-slot right here. And that way you have a backstop. And that is what comes in the F2 slide extension box. Let's go ahead and take a minute here. And I'm going to go ahead and look over and kind of go over what all these items exactly are. Okay, now, it's actually kind of cool. I went over all the different parts in here. So now I'm going to give you the official what's included in the box. So, like we said earlier, we have our slide extension right here. We have our cable hookup so that the slide extension will work with your F1 or F2. You also have these clamps. Now, I thought these were going to actually be for clamping the slide to the F2. However, these are actually material clamps that can slide into these slots and then be rotated over to hold down whatever material you have on this surface. Or probably you could use them to separate them out. We have this Allen wrench that comes with it. I believe it's the 3mm. But the interesting part about it is I didn't know how this was going to lock onto it. But if you look on the bottom side here, you can see how there's a groove cut out, and there's 2 screws that are already set in there. See it this way right here? What you do is this slides onto your machine. You align the edges up with the lines that reference in the manual, and then you slide the extension one way and tighten the screw down to the base plate, and then the other way and screw that side down too. And that's how it locks into the F2. So that is what comes in the F2 slide extension box. Let's go ahead and move on to that RA3. Okay, we are back, and this is kind of the crowning moment. This is the RA3. Now, I know a little bit more about this one because I did watch the demo of it with the P3, and I was immediately like, I gotta have one of these. Hopefully they make it fully backwards compatible, but this thing is cool. So, as I open it up, I'm going to talk about the difference and what this is. The RA is a rotary attachment. This is what's going to allow you to do different circular or round or spherical objects on a basically, X plane or Y plane, however you want to look at it. But it's going to be able to spin it around so you can get those like full wrap tumblers, cups, things of that nature. Or if you're trying to do a wedding ring and engrave the inside of it, that's what this is allowing you to do. Now, the old model, the RA2, has been really helpful for me. I've used it quite a bit between beer mugs, tumblers, and such. But some of the issues that people have had with it is the fact that everything is attached by screws. If you need a switch from the rollers to the chuck, which is basically like a little 3-pronged hand that holds an item, or to the little finger grooves that holds the rings, you have to take it apart. And you got to take a lot of Allen bolts out or bolts out and then put it together. And you got to switch motor, or not the motor, but the belt and the drive shaft around, depending on which one you're using. And it just takes a little extra time. And especially if you're not doing it a lot, you kind of tend to forget about it. Also, when you got the RA2, it didn't come in a box. It didn't come with anything besides the stuff necessary for it. There are a lot of files out on XCS where you can actually use your S1 or P2, whatever, to cut out a box to fit everything in. But xTool did not disappoint. They took all that feedback from the RA2 and they updated and upgraded it to the RA3. Now, the RA3, the biggest feature is that it's supposed to be more compatible with their newer machines that have cameras, to be able to do better positioning of the laser when you're engraving around items, but also giving you a mock-up, like in the P3, using the LiDAR, of the actual 3D model, plus putting whatever wrap on it so you get a better idea what it's going to look like and make those fine adjustments. More importantly, with the RA3, what they have added is magnets, very strong rare earth magnets, to be able to make this adjust much easier and switch from one system to the other. Now, as always, very well packaged, and it's nice and neat box. I like the fact that they include this little styrofoam box. Would be nice if it was more of a plastic on the outside just to protect it more, but this is some thick, heavy, durable styrofoam, so we're good on protecting the parts. Again, like always, safety instructions and manual right up in the front. And here is all the different parts for our RA3. Now, I haven't looked at the instructions. I only saw this done on the live stream, but as you can see here are our different parts, and just knowing the RA2, I can kind of tell already what they are being used for. And I like the fact that everything's together. This is your actual base plate. This is what your motor is going to attach to. And as you can see here, there are 4 holes. There are 4 pins. And this drops right in. And all it has on the back, let's see here, is just a single set screw. And that thing is locked in place. That is awesome. What we have here is the rollers. And if you look on this guy here, there is actually the top part for the chuck. And I'm guessing somehow you have to put that down in the down position. I wonder if it just flips around, because I noticed that this guy can actually come up and down. Now this right here is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what adjusts the rock at angle when you're using the chuck. So what we're going to do first off is put in the chuck configuration. And this is where the cool part is. Here is your chuck. They've improved the back end from plastic to a metal. It has a much better positive grip to it, and you can adjust it much faster and easier when it comes to the chuck and how it's going to hold items. But the biggest part about this is it's no longer held in place by a set Allen screw or several set Allen screws that will get loosened while it's being used and potentially falls out. This has got a rare earth magnet and goes right in there like that. Let's go ahead and show you that one more time. Pops out, pops in. There's a pin lineup so that it sets correctly in here. And now, I mean, we are in there nice and tight. It takes a couple pounds of pressure to get it out. The cool thing with this is that you can buy additional chucks for the RA3. That way you can have them already pre-attached to your different cups or whatever you're making, so you can switch them out faster. They do include the back support for this. So this is what allows you to be able to line this up and basically support the back edge of an item, so not all the way hanging on the chuck and it wants to fall. that is something that's happened in the past. One of the cool things that they've added to this that I like is actual guides to be able to slide this in, lock it down, so that the rollers are actually in line with the center of the chuck. That is awesome. And what I'm noticing here is that there's a separate one over here, and I'm guessing that is for the roller attachment pieces that are here. When I'm doing those beer glasses, I'll put one in, line everything up, make sure everything's set, and I'll run it. And then when I come back to it, I have to come and loosen it up, take it out, put it in, tighten it back down, and then I usually have to check to make sure it's still level, nothing's been adjusted, because I'll hit things. I don't have to do it every time, but I'm having to do it every couple cups. The nice thing with this is, now when you have that cup that's finished, you just take the whole thing out. You can set it off to the side so that way you can get it prepped for cleanup. You can take your new cup that's already loaded in on here, slide it right in, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about resetting the angle of this. Once this is set in place, that's locked in nice and tight. It doesn't move as much as the other one. You can bring it out, put it back in with the new one, or that second one you have, and you're up and running. It's going to speed the process up. Now, in this box, one of the nice things, or this sleeve that they've added in here, and this feels like, yeah, this is the attachment cable, is they have added new styles of attachments for the chuck. And the cool thing with these ones is, again, they're magnetic, so they just slide right in, and they lock in place, right? But these ones are round, and these will work great on the inside of your tumblers, so that way you can get a very good purchase or grip on that tumbler. A lot of times when I'm using the old school style grabbers, which are these guys right here, but the nice thing is these are rubber coated. They're no longer just that kind of half rubber, half plastic. They get a better grip from the inside pushing out versus trying to squeeze something that's maybe slightly angled and it wants to pop out. And again, you can adjust these into multiple slots. You can see there's 3 different slots you can put these guys in, and they just lock in right in place, and you just put them to the ones that, so they're all the same, and you're good to go. And again, nice carrying case. Everything goes back in here nicely. It holds all your equipment that you need. I have a bin that has everything, and it's loose in there, so I'm always having to dig through it. They also give you, like I said, these guys here, 2 different sizes. Well, actually, they're not, they're one slightly thinner than the other. But these guys can just pop in and do the same thing, but just for different types of items. And then here are our rollers. And there it is. We loosen this up. We pull this out. And there are 4 holes on this side. All we have to do is line it up, and we are locked into place. Now, there is no set screw that I'm seeing on these guys. It looks like there might be a bottom one down here, but let's go ahead and see where this attachment may go. Right here? Ah, that's why. We have this in backwards. Let's put it in the right way. There we go. Now it's in the right way. No, it's not. This is the right way. These are your roller holders. And as you can see, move that out of the way, everything just pops in with magnets. It's really nice to have that. This guy just goes in here. Let's actually take those off first. Let's see if we can line this up correctly. Aha, there's a pin in there, just like the other one. So you got to get it set just right. And now it's locked in. That's locked in. That's locked in. And this is locked in. And what I did on this is I put it in wrong. Let's flip it around. And those are the supports, oops, for this. And so what you have here are an A, B, and a C. That's for the different widths of cups you have. Right now I'm set to A and C instead of A and B, so a wider cup would sit in here. I wonder if they're going to come out with a wider extension. I want to believe the RA2 goes a little wider, but maybe they figured out they didn't need that. You do have a riser plate, which is awesome because normally you have to actually buy a separate kit for the RA2, whether it's their Pro kit or a model off of line that's like 3D printed. And basically what that's doing is allowing this to go in to those pegs and then screw it down. And then the next one goes on top of it when you're using the chuck to raise it up so when you're doing bigger, wider objects. Last but not least, a nice thing they do to include, just like the other one, is a level, so you can check your glassware and make sure it's level, and a tape measure so you can get the proper diameter or circumference. Very big improvement on, well, I shouldn't say very big, just a nice little improvement is these little rubber X's they put on it. With the old one, it was just the square level, and you'd either have to make or kind of hold it there. Now, with these rubber X's, if you have your item in there to engrave, they'll actually let it sit there nicely. Give it a little push down, make sure it's set on there right, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to just slide off. And I would say, actually, finally, these are the long holders for the chuck. These are really good for like rings and small things of that nature. And again, the nice thing is they made it so it is magnetic. You just drop them in. They're held in there pretty decently. Then you can pop them out. Really love how they did this case. Made it so that everything can go right back in here. And as you can see here, I'm just taking it apart. Everything's magnetic. Everything comes off really easy. It sticks on it enough that it's just not going to pop off on its own, but it's not so hard that, you got to force it to get apart. There we go. Goes in there. That goes in there. That then fits right back like that. And it's back together. That's the RA3. Thank you for watching this unboxing of the F2 slide extension RA3. I will be doing a new video going over their installation setup and initial review. Kind of the same format we followed last time. So anyways, thank you for all watching. If you get a chance, please hit that like, subscribe, notification button. I'll see you on the next one.